random words in a world of perceptions. They keep invading my mind, these questions. The observation of the time in its illusion, the perception of an inclusion. It goes beyond the understanding. It stays ahead in the present. The present of the simple expression. To do the dishes becomes the greatest manifestation. To sweep the floor each and every day. A process that repeats itself, creating this haze in the brain of a human experience. The very understanding of the question inside this recipient. I leave this message to all the cosmos in the now. The simple understanding of something that is like the question how. I leave this question and I have no answers. Sorry for that, but that's my friend. That's the messenger. The messenger give no answers. It just leaves an interrogation. A process of asking oneself the implication. The implication of everything that happens at the present moment. All together creating this monster. The monster of ideas, of concepts. They all fade away in the sands of existence. The salt of activity in this mix. In this mix of color, shapes and forms. Of imagination and storms. The sound of a thunder far, far away. Trembling in the concrete, making this maze of lives entangled, connected and disconnected at the highest level. The very perception becomes digital. Before it was analogic, making me shiver. Now it changes to something more superficial. The separateness becomes a visual, a perception that creates itself. It's like a artificial intelligence asking everybody else. I don't know if the words can combine with each other, but they can be something, like a weapon of choice, a moment of contemplation. To look at Earth and see its dimension. Because we are a being and such are everything else. Because if we separate this idea of life, we live this just in this what else? You know what I mean when I ask the same questions. I leave this perception for the moment of inception. To put in an idea so deep that it can change all the atmosphere. I live and I come back. It's like the wave of the ocean touching the grass of existence in cosmic explosions. It's like the goddess coming back to life in this exposure of degrees of vibration. The look within is like a manifestation. Samsara is nirvana, nirvana is samsara. If we separate the concepts, becomes a like a castaway on a shore far away, alone on a beach, on this island by himself, looking at the ocean, thinking of possibilities, and at the same time understanding that was his limit. I don't leave answers, I leave questions. In this cyberpunk dystopic reality, who am I? But just another regular simple guy. Just another one in the crowd. And at the same time I am not. I know there is something like a knot, a splinter in my mind, like Morpheus once said. like I can't scratch it with my finger, but it keeps asking for itself. It's amazing that when the mind changes, it can't go back, but only through experience someone can understand that. The message is in the now, and it lives with this flow. It's like the flower blossoming over there in that hole, the black hole of brainy activity, of the gray area of this mystic air that breathes every day. It's like the shadow and the light becoming the same. The Tao Te Ching, the way, the Tao, the eternal existence of the cycles of nature. The wave always come back and ask me about the repetition, the break in the point, the very crack in the structure of this point. This point that is also a circle, a very own existence. It is like consciousness asking itself about the mystics that brought knowledge, philosophy, and understanding. But the knowledge is spread in everything, and we call it education, we call it culture, we call it understanding and epistemic ideas. But the real knowledge is there for everybody to see and to touch, because being human and being able to breathe, we can feel it every single time. But ignorance keeps persisting, pushing us to the side. But the middle way would be the answer, because when we see everything happening, is always in this spinning around an X, going the same direction at the same time that it rests. For example, why everything in the cosmos is spinning? When you see the angular momentum, it's just a physical definition, because that would be the inertia, the tendency to be on that move, and so everything is, whether it want it or not, or it is conscious or not, is in the same inertia, in the same movement, being part of a universe. I leave this message for everybody that can hear. I don't have the truth, or I am not a god or something in this area. I'm just a human being, a simple guy living an idea, connecting words, or maybe not, in this artistic expression of the knots of knowledge, of understanding, trying to use ignorance as a pendulum, as an effect, as a shine in the mirror, as a crack in the glass, to make it perfect and unique. The uniqueness of the personality of the Pudgala is just the same thing that is the proof of itself. The very flimsy existence of everything and everybody else, because everything is decaying, is dying and burning once again. The cycles persist, and that's the idea, my friends. I leave this message for everybody that can hear, because the moment is everything, and it is complete, and it's here. After all, everything is Mandala.